Hello everyone. Welcome to the fourth episode of Experience Exchange. Today the topic that we'll be looking at is evolving sustainable strategies for the new age. So, this Experience Exchange, it is actually part of Tuvakam's year of volunteering. As we know, United Nations has declared 2026 as the International Volunteering Year. So we are trying to get together people to volunteer, be it virtually or in person, in a lot of different events. So today's Experience Exchange, we are joined by Dr. Satyagopal K. So thank you, sir. Just a brief introduction. He's the retired IAS of the 1987 batch. When I researched him, there were so many degrees I couldn't fit them all in a page. So I would just like to highlight some of the key positions in his career. So he's the former Additional Chief Secretary of Tamil Nadu and the Commissioner of the Revenue Administration in Disaster Management. He was also the former Chairman and Management Director of the Water Restoration in Tamil Nadu and the former expert member in the National Green Tribunal. So welcome to the show.
Thank you, Karthik.
So, sir, while we were discussing ideas for this podcast, a lot of ideas came up on what all topics we would like to touch. I think we can start with the last thing I said, which is the National Green Tribunal. So, I would like you to share how big of an impact, since this is a pan-India venture, how it is and what people should be thinking about when it comes to greenery.
You're talking about greenery or Green Tribunal?
Green Tribunal and how their activities and actions are actually impacting or actually helping us as a normal citizen.
See, National Green Tribunal has been established and has given a very important responsibility of ensuring that the environmental issues are addressed in a manner that sustainable development is ensured. A whole lot of issues can be touched about that. Mm-hmm. But since you are talking about this year being promoting volunteerism, I would like to identify certain areas where NGT has played a very significant role based on the orders of Honorable Supreme Court. So 2 to 3 areas I would like to focus upon. The first thing is solid waste management. Solid waste management is an everyday problem.
Yes.
And however much a government does, what needs to be done will be still much more. This problem gets compounded because of the lack of civic awareness among the community. We have a tendency of keeping our house clean and throw the entire dirt into the street. This is one of our weaknesses which we have to admit. So taking this into account, Honorable Supreme Court has given various directions, and then they have given the responsibility of monitoring the removal of the legacy waste, which runs into thousands of tons throughout the country, and each municipality is burdened with huge quantity of legacy waste, as well as to evolve strategies to manage the current waste. So what governments are doing, what scientists are working, these are issues anyway I think they are focusing. But we have to look at what as an individual we can try to do. Every individual, whatever profession he be in, so we are also part of the problem. We generate waste. And we complicate it by mixing up all the waste and give it to the local body. Mm-hmm. Then again it is segregated, and then sometimes it is dumped, though they are supposed to treat the segregated waste and then reuse the usable waste. The problem gets compounded. So what I would like to first touch upon your audiences, everyone should try to strive their best to segregate the dry waste and the wet waste and hand it over in 2 separate bins to the local body. See, what many people may not be knowing is there is a fungal organism called vesicular arbuscular mycorrhiza, or in short it is called as mycorrhiza. Okay. This actually forms a network with it's associated with the roots of plants. 90% of the plant kingdom, they have this association with this worm, and this or mycorrhiza in general, because there are worm is one and the other one is only AM, arbuscular mycorrhiza. Mycorrhiza is the common denomination. So this forms a huge network in the forest areas through which actually the trees communicate with each other. In fact, some of you might have seen on the WhatsApp group where chemical communication and messaging is going on under the through the roots under the soil.
Like the forest is alive.
And that is possible only because of this mycorrhiza, which is a fungal organism. That produces a glycoprotein called glomalin, which holds more carbon than humus.
Oh, okay.
So therefore, what we can do is, what as an individual, when you are interacting with the farmers, we can motivate them to use this VAM in their fields. It is available in a
so
formulation
it's able to
form.
Be created as a separate entity. It is not,
yes, it can be multiplied, and it is done through tissue culture, root organ tissue culture. It is done, and then multiplied through pot culture, and then it is supplied as a formulation available in the market.
Okay.
This it can be further multiplied through pot culture at the farm level also. But even if you are buying the formulation and then using, it will not be very expensive. At least let the farmer try to be aware of this. Then one more area is, we should move away from vermicomposting to vermiculturing. See, today fortunately everyone talks about the usage of vermicompost. So when I was district collector in the year 1997, those days vermicompost was quite fashionable. That is a new thing, that is in thing kind of a thing. But today it's taken for granted. But in the process, what's happening is, vermicompost is sold in the market after it is sieved. That means it doesn't have any cocoons, it doesn't have any live worms. So it is just like any inert material. It is a nutrient for the plants. No harm, it's good enough. But a real thing should be, if we can enhance or bring back the earthworm population in the agriculture fields. They are the ecosystem engineers. They form the tunnels in the agriculture field, and whenever there is a rainwater, water goes up to 2 feet.
It percolates.
Percolates. And most of the crops, they have roots up to 2 feet. And besides the channels, they also leave their vermicasts, which is full of nutrients. So nature has several ways shown us how to live sustainably. But we are more fascinated by agrochemicals and all those things.
I think there was even a catchphrase. I think it's the name of the book, which said, "Unga tractor sani poduma." Like the whole point of plowing a field with a cow is the natural
way of both are happening simultaneously. Then the other thing we should all remember. See, today we are all breathing. Oxygen is very essential. Several studies have shown that the annual oxygen requirement of any person is almost can be met by about 6 to 8 trees. Now, none of us would have probably, or except a few, would have planted trees to produce oxygen for ourselves. All these trees have been planted by our forefathers. Now, what is that we can do as an individual? In our lifetime, we should try to take a resolve saying that we will plant at least 30, I said, 6 to 8 trees. But some of these trees may not last for more than 30 years. So twice, so 16 trees. And an additional set of 16 trees, 32 trees. Why? As a thanksgiving to our forefathers who have planted these trees, or who have left the trees as it is, still for us to breathe.
Utilize, yeah.
And then another set of 16 trees, so that we can leave something to our children as well as grandchildren.
Like we were talking about legacy.
This that will be the positive legacy.
Right.
And the last point which I would like to suggest is, we are talking about sustainable development. And when we are talking about sustainable development, it is not only the environment, our nutritional health, nutrition and health, all these things also will have to be covered. Since we are talking about how we can promote sustainable development through trees for enhanced carbon sequestration, etc. I feel that each individual, if he can motivate the rural households to grow 4 trees, minimum 4 trees. 5th one, if space is there, it can be done. I will suggest these trees. One is moringa. That is drumstick.
Right.
The second one is papaya. The third one is curry leaf. 4th one is amla. It could be either the small one or the big one. And then it spaces that Goa.
Yeah.
Moringa is being promoted by F&O and WHO as a solution for anemia among women in African countries.
Okay.
And Moringa is native of India, more so Tamil Nadu and South India. And no South Indian will say, I have never seen Moringa or never eaten Moringa. I think, especially in Tamil Nadu, every day when sambar is made, you need to have Moringa in
basic.
Basic. It's taken for granted. Right. Moringa is there. And then papaya. Papaya, again, we know the nutrition value. If you grow it yourself at home, it tastes much better rather than
the
through
sweet fruits of labor.
That is the sweet. It will be sweeter. And then curry leaf. Right. Curry leaf, again, especially in South Indian context, we use it in our all preparations at home. And on top of that, we also nowadays trying to convert curry leaf into a powder, and then making use of it as kind of a side dish for your idli or whatever, or mixing it with different curries.
It's a staple of our cuisines.
Cuisine. Yeah. And it grows. Once it established, it just grows like that. And then amla. Whether it is the small sirinelli, something like sirinelli, or the cottonelli, both are very good because it has a lot of loaded with vitamin C. And the last one is Goa. Goa is nothing but poor man's apple. Rich man can also eat it because it is as tasty as an apple. For me, it is more tastier than apple. So these are certain broad areas. Several other areas are being focused by NGT. But NGT primarily follows the principles of, while passing any order when an issue relating to environment has been brought up to the file as a case before the NGT, it primarily follows the principles of sustainable development. Because today we are at a stage where we cannot completely say there cannot be development, but that has to be sustainable. Then the NGT also adopts the principle of precautionary principle. Sometimes you may be having a dilemma. The existing scientific evidence may not be conclusive to show that it is detrimental to the environmental interest. But if there is a possibility, precaution needs to be taken, then I think probably that will take precedence, and then the project may have to be reconceptualized or shifted from that particular location. The other principle it follows, major principle, is polluter pays principle. Whoever pollutes will have to pay the cost for that. A lot of penalties were imposed even on governments. Unfortunate that certain state governments, they themselves they try to violate, though it is being done in the larger interest of public projects. But still, having a legislation in place which has been enacted by the same government, whether it is a predecessor or they themselves or whatever, that is a piece of legislation they have to respect. And whenever that violation is there, NGT frowns upon that, whether it is an individual or a government, and several projects are also stalled. So this is about the role of NGT and how an individual can strengthen the initiative. And if we have time, I can show a few slides about the CRA technique.
Sure, sir. Just a few points, because I didn't want to break your flow, because you were imparting so much of good ideas and good concepts that you had implemented as well. One thing that you touched upon was how recharge wells played a huge role when it comes to Naganandi project. So recharge wells is not a concept purely for agriculture, right? We can do it in our cities.
Yes.
So how exactly do I go about it? Because recharge well is not the same as a well. So could you just give a brief, because most people may
see,
not
if in an
know what
open well, you can see the water.
Right.
In a recharge well, you are creating a layers of sand, rubble, and all those things. Standard prescription. Filtration. It is basically a filtration mechanism through which the water goes. And in the pebbles and other things, the dirt is absorbed.
Right. So the recharge wells are more for percolating the water
into the groundwater aquifer.
Right.
In fact, in the year 2017, when Tamil Nadu faced the severest drought in its recorded history, I was the Commissioner of Revenue Administration, and with the entire team of district collectors and the district administration, various departments, technical, agriculture, horticulture, all these departments, what we have done is we have undertook a massive effort to convert most of the defunct borewells into recharge structures.
Right. If you can't take it out, put it back in.
Put back the water by creating a drain and then putting the filtration mechanism, and we pushed it. And the feedback we have received is it served the purpose of recharging the groundwater. So, and also the other important thing I think all of us should remember is we should not be an encroacher on waterways. Unless you give the water its way, it will enter into your way.
True.
And just pushes you away. Even if heavy vehicles are carried away, even they try to cross a causeway or a bridge when the water is flowing away. So the power of water is immense. Unless we respect water, unless we treat water as liquid gold, we don't have a permanent solution.
Right. So coming to that point as well. So we talked about recharge wells. They play a huge role when it comes to combating water scarcity. You were a key player when it comes to the drought fighting in 2016, 17 and in 19. But you also worked on the other side, which is flood mitigation.
Yes.
So every September or that point of time, it has become a standard news that we should be prepared for flooding. People go buy food items en masse and things like that. That panic, it could have been avoided had we treated climate change with the respect that it deserved.
Easier said than done.
Right.
But what we fail to understand is we have not respected the waterways. So we have encroached them. So that is one reason. And also the erstwhile eye-cut areas of MI tanks and reservoirs, they have been converted into habitations.
For people.
Earlier water which was flowing as a sheet, now it has no way to go.
Right.
So the only way is the road where it can just simply pass through. And while passing through on the road, it enters into the houses which are on either side of the road. So we did find a solution for this post 2015 in Tamil Nadu's flood. What we did is we have come out with a project called cut and cover system. We have identified areas which have been flooded for long periods of time during 2015 flood, identified the cause, and wherever this kind of a problem is there, we cut open that 30-meter wide road and then covered it with a concrete slab. So that road has been converted into a drain.
Right.
So and then we ensure that the water passes under the road and vehicular traffic is restored. And wherever we have done this project, the problem has been eliminated.
Wow.
Naturally, because the water is just going underneath. Still there are many areas which needs to be done, and there are certain projects where government was transferring water from where flooding happens to areas where there is a shortage of water. That is transferring the water from one basin to the other basin and intra-basin transfer. And then we've also made use of the abandoned quarries in Sikarayapuram. And from Chembrambakam surplus course, we diverted a small canal, and then we are now currently taking that water into these quarry sites during flooding times and then do it. Whatever we do, we should understand that we are a minor speck before nature.
Right.
Whether you're in USA, whether you're in India, whether you're in Australia, when nature shows its fury, man is nothing. So we need to be cautious, we need to respect nature, we should try to protect the floodplains so that we can mitigate that. We cannot completely eliminate natural disasters. It's cyclone, how can we stop it?
Right.
And when cyclone happens, there will be heavy pounding. Then today we are confronted with the problem of cloudbursts. So these are certain things which are beyond our thing. But we need to take as much precautions and as many measures as possible to conserve this water and guide them to go in a manner which is least damaging to the people who are living in and around that particular watershed.
I think the word we might use for that is resilience. And I think we can naturally switch
Yes.
over to climate resilience. and
Resilience.
agriculture. So if you could share the screen for people who have joined us, we can go through the slides. Let me know once the screen share starts.
How much time we have?
Yeah, 15 to 20 minutes.
15 minutes.
Because we started a bit late. Has screen share started?
No, just now.
See, this is a very simple method which I introduced there. I think we'll see.
It will come back.
Right?
Shall I come over there, Jay?
No. Yes, done.
So I think you need to alt tab to the PPT slide so that we can control it over here. No, that is active. Just click the mouse.
Now it is.
Okay, perfect.
See, as I was mentioning to you, in the year 2016, while I was looking at different options of enhancing the rainwater, especially in the rain-fed agriculture farmers' fields, where agroforestry and other tree crops are being grown, suddenly it struck me that we can capture the rainwater and take it down below by using a very simple method. And what does this method give as a benefit? It ensures water conservation because it will be able to, if you follow this method, it will retain the soil moisture in the root zone. Therefore, the requirement of water is reduced significantly, because today when you pour water, whether manually or sometimes through drip irrigation, excess water is poured, a lot of water is lost in evaporation. Then, water use efficiency. What we have noticed based on the experiments which we have done in different districts, since on one hand the quantum of water used per tree has reduced, but the growth is still better. So therefore the water use efficiency is a more efficient way of using water.
Right.
Then because while planting any tree, people will mix a lot of nutrients after taking a 2 feet pit, and then they will fill it up. But you pour the water only on the surface. Because of soil compaction, the water generally goes penetrates up to half a foot, whereas the plant has to take nutrients down below, because the growing root will be keeping
up to 2 feet.
Or 2 feet. The more water it will be able to take, and because we are providing the water up to 2 feet, along with the water, nutrients are also there. So therefore, the plants will be able to get enhanced nutrient absorption.
It's like giving a booster.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And therefore, it results in the full expression of the genetic potential of the seedling. And how can we say that? We noticed that whenever this method is followed, we ensured that a control plot also was there. In a field, suppose if 100 plants have been planted, 60 to 70 were following the CRA technique. Remaining 30 were growing normally. Invariably, the trees where CRA technique was adopted, they were growing taller and they were healthier also. And we noticed that even at the individual leaf level, the leaf surface area also more. And in certain areas, we looked at the production, the yield. Right. We noticed that yield levels are also quite high. And whether all these things happen or not, since you are providing water up to 2 feet, the survival rate will definitely go up. Because one of the biggest problem in tree plantations, whether it is through government efforts or by farmers, mortality is always a major problem, especially during the summer months. But if you are following this method, the mortality rates will drop down. Then, since the trees are growing faster, the leaf size is bigger, and we also notice that the more branches are being formed within the same time frame when compared with the control, more carbon is being sequestered.
It's
with
a
less
more
water.
luscious trees.
We can see some of the pictures also. And then, because water is going down up to 2 feet, it imparts drought resistance to the trees. Surface watering may not be there, but already since moistures are at the down below and roots have gone very fast, they will be able to withstand a drought.
It's creating a system that will self-sustain.
A self-sustain kind of a thing.
Right.
And the biggest advantage is, this is a very low-cost technique. River sand is available in most of the villages, and a small farmer, women and indigenous farmers, all of them, they can try to use it. And this will, even large farmers, they may say, I may be having labor problems, I may not be able to engage for watering regularly. But if they adopt this method, they can reduce the number of watering days after the initial establishment. Or if they are going for drip irrigation, it can also be blended with this method, which will bring in several benefits. So now I talked about moringa, papaya, curry leaf, amla and guava. As I mentioned earlier, this is a Vegetables for Health initiative of WHO and FAO. There again, if you try to adopt this technique, your growth will be faster, yields will be better. So now let us have a comparison. While making a comparison, we took different types of trees. So if you look at fruit-bearing trees, I took tamarind. You see on the left side, normally grown tamarind. In the same area, we have grown adopting the CRA technique. So in 2 years and 3 months, the CRA technique sapling, it grew 5 feet and 3 inches taller. Wow. And then if you look at the girth also, in the normal method, the girth was 10 centimeters, whereas in CRA technique, it is 21 centimeters. So this is how we found. You can see more branches also.
Right, yeah.
More leaves also, you can see more biomass. So I will quickly show through the others because of paucity of time, I will just show the pictures. So this is mango. In 2 years, the difference was 3 feet and 7 inches. I think you visually also you can try to see the difference. This is naval. In 2 years and 3 months, the difference is 7 feet and 2 inches. Oil seed species. This is Pongamia, Pongam, Pongam we call. So in 2 years, the difference was 4 feet and 5 inches, 9 inches. And neem also in 6 months we found 4 feet, but subsequently that 4 feet only was maintained. So in oil seeds, the difference is about 4 feet, but not as much as we could see in the fruit trees. Then you come to timber species. We were astonished actually. I didn't expect this kind of a benefit. In mahogany, in 2 years and 2 months, the difference was 14 feet and 11 inches.
Wow.
And in teak, in 1 year and 6 months, the difference was almost 9 feet and 6 inches. Medicinal plants, amla, I was talking about amla. If you give adopt this method, in 6 months, the difference was 6 feet. Then this is neermard. In 2 years and 2 months, it is 12 feet and 1 inch is the difference. This is Albizia labak. It's called, I think, Ilipai or something like that. I think here the difference is 6 feet and 3 inches. Then this is silk cotton. 12 feet and 6 inches in 8 months. Flowering trees. This is Mayflower. In 1.5 years, the difference is about 11 feet. So just like timber, flowering trees also they grow. The difference is quite immense. We found the difference in different species. This is again Mile Wagai. Here again the difference is in 6 months it is almost about 5 feet. This is the girth of a drumstick where CRA technique is adopted. We can find that the non-CRA method, normal method is given period 23 centimeters, whereas CRA method it is 31 centimeters. You can see the difference. Similarly, the leaf size at the individual leaf size, you can see the bigger surface area. Then after some time, I wanted to compare a 3-year-old plantation which was normally planted and a plantation which is 2-year-old adopting CRA technique. So very interesting pictures have been sent by the field level functionaries to me. In Badam, the 2-year-old sapling adopting CRA technique grew 5 feet and 4 inches taller than the 3-year-old sapling. And this is Mayflower. This has started flowering in 2 years.
Oh.
Whereas, and also the height difference was 14 feet and 4 inches.
So it has gained maturity way faster
quickly,
than
and besides growing taller.
Right.
And then this is Nux vomica, which is used in homeopathic medicines. The difference is 18 feet and 10 inches over the 3-year-old sapling. And this is Naval. As I mentioned earlier, Naval also grows very fast with this method. So the 2-year-old sapling is 11 feet and 2 inches taller than the 3-year-old thing. Now, as I mentioned earlier, drip irrigation also, where drip irrigation is being adopted, whether my technique can be blended. That also we have tried. And if you can see the picture here, on the left side only drip irrigation was adopted. Whereas on the right side, you can see we have adopted this drip irrigation and the CRA method together. You can see the crown formation and the growth of cashew. And the other biggest thing is this can be used to drought proof for existing trees. For example, as I said earlier, in 2017 we had the severest drought in Tamil Nadu. The coconut trees in Coimbatore and Tirupur, they were wilting. So then what we have did is, so we formed a circle and then drilled holes at 4 locations. The hole is there where the PVC pipe
The
has been
pipes
kept.
are. Right.
But actually for filling, you don't need the pipes here. While you are planting a new tree, PVC pipes are required to form the sand columns.
Right.
So what is the technique? In this technique, we create sand columns while planting a tree. How do you create a sand column in an open pit? It's difficult.
Right, you need something to hold it.
Hold
in place.
it. So for that, I took the support of PVC pipes. If the pit depth is 2 feet, you can have a 3 feet length PVC pipe, put it on the 4 corners, or if you want to put only 2 pipes, 2 columns, 2 corners. If you want to put only 1 PVC pipe, 1 bigger dia, you can put it. Then fill up the pit and plant it normally. Now in this PVC pipe, initially we can put about half a foot vermicompost or compost, whatever is available. And the remaining length of the PVC pipe up to the surface of the soil, river sand if you put, then you remove the PVC pipe.
Right.
So the same PVC pipe can be reused. So the cost for the farmer will be much less.
If I were to paraphrase this, you're creating a tea bag of a vermicompost so that once the water gets dropped in, it's going to seep the nutrients.
And the root which is growing root will pick it up.
Right.
And initially when you plant, you put anywhere nutrients, that will take the benefit. And since due to soil compaction, if water is not percolating, this sand column is taking the water down up to 2 feet. And if you want, you can create a column of 3 feet also, which we did it for coconut trees in Tanjavur Delta area post Gaja cyclone. In some areas we have done. Anytime it can be done. And even Varda, when some huge trees fell, after restoration we created these sand columns and many of them survived also. So then this is it. And this one recently I got some data from Kanchipuram
For mango tree.
mango tree. This is 5 years and 11 months after we took a decision, we took a measurement. You can see the difference, 4 feet and 3 inches,
Right.
and you can see the crown difference.
Yeah. It is more of a denser
Healthy,
foliage.
dense,
Right.
and the girth was double the normal method.
Right.
And this is ficus, atik.
Right.
Here again, the difference is about 3 feet. I'm not able to
3
see
feet and 6 inches.
3 feet and 6 inches, and you can see the crown
Again,
difference.
nearly twice.
And the girth of the stem is almost more than double.
Right.
And this is Goa.
Yeah.
Here again, the difference is height difference is about 4 feet and 3 inches.
Right.
And then nearly 1.5 times is the girth.
Right.
So in this was appreciated by Government of Tamil Nadu, and then they gave me a certificate of appreciation in 2017, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Right. Independence Day they have.
On the Independence Day, right.
Right. So this is the link. I have made an amateur video. We have put it in English, Tamil, Hindi, Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam, and there's a TV interview link also is there. And this has been done in Rural Development Department in Tamil Nadu, Agriculture Department, Horticulture Department also, they are adopting this. In some pockets of Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, they have followed it. In Maharashtra, they are doing this under a World Bank project, they have adopted this method. And in Gujarat Science City also, some of their tree plantation, they have adopted this method. So this is a very simple method. So if someone wants to grow trees and be rest assured that it will survive, this simple method can be followed and adopted. It's not an expensive, they don't need to buy a very expensive drip irrigation system and other things.
And like you said, the raw materials can also be
They are available locally,
Right.
and it can be reused. Sand is available locally, the PVC pipe can be reused. Suppose if they don't want the trouble of putting PVC pipe, now many people what they are doing is, for planting a sapling, they are drilling a hole with an auger.
Right.
So on the upstream side, you can drill one more hole and then fill it up with manure and then the river sand.
So it's a
so
1
that
plus
will
1
1 plus
system.
1 you can try to do it, and you will get 2 plus 1 results in terms of your yield and other things and growth. And this way we will be able to sequester more carbon. It's a very simple, common science, sense-based technique, but with tremendous benefits which I didn't foresee. When this idea came to me, I felt, I'm very happy. the mortality rate will come down, survival rate will increase. But when we saw the results, many of us, we were startled. Initially, it was difficult to believe. I had to probe, I had to check whether that sand column is really there or not. All these things we had to do. That's the thing.
Yeah, sir. I think.
And last but not least, now Tuvakam is actually trying to take this technique forward, both in urban forestry as well as in block plantations. So we are going to update you people with the required results also.
Definitely, sir. Because I think when you first, when we first, as Tuvakam came and met you, I think it was in 2019. And I think your slides actually startled me quite a bit too, because we were trying to use the Miyawaki technique and then we had to adapt it for the Indian ecosystem, the Indian soils, the native trees. But here we have Dr. Satyagopal's CRA method, and it showed such a drastic result. And I think where you come from in this scientific backing that you've shown, I think that is always something that it needs to be taken forward, it needs to be implemented. And what you've also shown is it is viable for commercial purposes as well. You have timber, you have fruit bearing,
everything.
So almost everyone can use it. So I think we've come nearly.
One point.
No, so we've come nearly to the end. So if anyone has any questions, you can post it in the chat.
But before I forget, I think I would like to say.
Yeah.
So I could have tweaked this technique and go for a commercial patent. But I felt that this is my individual responsibility, because I love, I'm madly passionate about growing trees. I thought this is such a simple technique. If we can put it in a public domain, it will reach many farmers who will not be able to even afford if it is commercially patented. So it is. That's the reason why I have given the links. All I expect is acknowledgement that that particular plantation grew faster if they have adopted my technique. Give due recognition to that, the way we give my Miyawaki method recognition and others. If any question is there, we will try.
Yeah, because the efforts, and like you early on we said, right, it's the civil sense or the civil organizations meeting public. It's coming up with these ideas that it needs to reach the right people. Right. It needs to reach
the common man.
The common man to get it integrated into our society. System. So, if you have any questions. So if you have any questions, we'll definitely reach out to you, sir.
Sure.
But otherwise, I would like to wrap up with something that stood out to me in one of the presentations that you might have forgotten when you were in the government. There was a unique line which stood out to me. Technology is important, but institutional and organizational strength are more important. I found it in one of your slides, and it is something true. I mean, in this age, we are talking about AI, we are talking about all the new advancements that's happening, but a simple worm is something that we cannot yet recreate. The job that it does, the simple water, which is the blue marble, which is the earth, and we are not treating the water with respect. So I would like to take this opportunity to thank you for your time in sharing the CRA method with us, and to again inculcate a sense of responsibility within all of us. Yeah.
Thank you, Karthik.
So everyone who's tuned in, we would catch you again in another episode of Experience Exchange. Remember that this is Tuvakam's Year of Volunteering. We have adapted the United Nations International Year of Volunteering 2026, and there are a lot of events scheduled every month. So this year also we are doing a lot of activities, so follow us on Instagram or any of the other social medias, follow us on LinkedIn, and you will keep getting new updates on new events that we are doing. Otherwise, thank you once again, sir.
Thank you.
And thank you again.
Thank you.